Hey Pisces, welcome to your love and romance reading for May 2022. This is going to be for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. We're going to connect here and see what messages are coming up for you all. You might stumble upon this video after May, and that's fine. You're going to see it whenever you're meant to see it. Keep in mind this is a general reading for the collective. Not every single message is going to resonate, so take what does, leave what doesn't. We're going to see what is coming up here for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Alrighty, my dears, let's get right on into it. First card that comes up here is the Five of Wands. Now, my dear, my darling Pisces friends, you guys had like this ongoing theme in your weekly forecast. For those of you who don't know, who are like new to my channel, every single week I do a weekly forecast where we talk about everything other than love and romance. And in the weekly forecast for a while, Pisces had this ongoing message where you guys were getting a lot feistier. Like you were tired of like, you know, not speaking your piece for the sake of maintaining the peace. Like you let things slide, or you don't speak up, or you don't say anything because you didn't want to have confrontation or arguments or whatever. And a lot of you in the weekly forecast, it was coming up that like you were tired of that, right? Or you were tired of kind of, okay, well, what do you want to do and what do you like to do, and kind of going along with somebody else's interests, kind of waiting for them to ask you, what would you like to do, or what do you like to do, or what do what do you want? And so there was like this sense of like feistiness, like Pisces was getting tired of this. And now in your love reading, we have the Five of Wands. And the Five of Wands can be conflict, right? And it could be a situation here where you're not on the same page with somebody, or there may be a bit of a power struggle. There could just be a power struggle. There's a sense of competition with the Five of Wands as well. And so intuitively, Pisces, I feel like some of you are in a situation where you feel like somebody keeps competing with you. Like they're competing with you, or they're one-upping you, regardless of whatever it might be. You know, like you say you're not feeling well and you have a headache, and oh my gosh, like that's nothing compared to the migraine they woke up with. Or you accomplish something, and oh yeah, okay, that's great, but they remember the time that they accomplished this or they accomplished that. For some reason, I feel like a lot of you are dealing with just somebody who is very competitive, and I'm feeling kind of dramatic, right? And you're done with it. Or what this could be, Pisces, is this has been a cycle that you're coming out of. You've been dealing with this in the past, and you're like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not going to deal with people who don't hear me, or where everything is a competition. If I want to say I'm not feeling well, I'm not trying to compete here with, whose boo-boos are worse, who's feeling worse. Like, not everything needs to be a competition. And so for some of you, you've already come out of this and you're like, I'm not doing this anymore. But for some reason, I feel some of you have been dealing with a very competitive partner, and you're just like, you're over it. You're done. You're tired. You don't want to do it anymore. You just want to lay it to rest. I'm going to leave that at that. Okay. And there's like some things I want to say, but I'm going to hold off and see the other cards that come up. The next card that's coming up here for Pisces is the Six of Swords. You're over the drama. You don't want it. You're done with it. You want to move on, right? Life is short. You want to be happy. You want a sense of peace. Some of you may be taking a break, or wanting to get away a little bit from this competitive person. Like you're over it, you're tired, you're not dealing with it, and you may be deciding to go visit friends or visit family. Now, some of you might be going on a trip with somebody to try to repair a relationship if there's been power struggles or if there's been disagreements. You all might be deciding to try to take a trip to alleviate the situation and to try to make peace. Um, and so there could be a situation here where you're trying to just kind of get a change of scenery and move away from conflicts, move away from arguments and disagreements. Uh, however, and I'm not saying this to talk about myself, but you guys know, those of you who watch my readings, I've said this in the past. Spirit will show me sometimes a situation, like somebody that I read for all the time. Uh, I'll see that person or their situation or something that happened to me in my life, and spirit is it's that spirit's way of letting me know, hey Amethyst, remember this time, remember this person, remember this situation. That's what's going on here. And so I was talking about the conflict and getting away, and spirit is showing me a funny experience that I had a while back, where uh I started dating a friend of mine who had recently broken up with somebody, and they were meant to go on a trip together to a family function, and this person didn't want to go by themselves, and they were like, will you please go with me? And we'd only been dating like a couple of weeks, and I ended up basically taking this other person's ticket and going on this trip. And so some of you Pisces may be like planning on taking a person somewhere, but with this conflict and with this energy, you may take the trip without the person and you may invite somebody else, right? Kind of like the Beyonce song Irreplaceable, like to the left, everything you own in a box to the left. Some of you just might be like, bye, gone, right? I'm gonna go on this trip. I'm not gonna go by myself. I'm gonna take somebody else. Now, that being said, it doesn't have to be romantic. It could be a family member. It could be a friend of yours. You may be deciding, I'm gonna go on this trip, I'm gonna get away, but I'm not, I'm done. I'm done with your drama. I'm not gonna deal with you. So some of you may be taking a trip and taking somebody else along instead of who you were planning to go with. You might decide that you don't want to try to reconcile the relationship on this trip, or you might decide that you've seen enough to know you don't want to be with this person and you want to go on this trip to kind of shake this person off. Maybe for some of you, this is a friend that you might have a romantic interest in. Maybe you're not telling your friend that you have a romantic interest in them, and you may just be more of the mindset of like, hey, we'll just go as friends or we'll just go as buddies, and you might be kind of observing them and seeing like, is this a good person for me? um there's whales here, and the whales for me can be very deep healing, very deep healing, very deep release. A lot of times, whales are also seen to be connected with psychic connection and telepathy. So maybe, and Pisces, you guys are very psychic. You're highly psychic. So some of you may be making your decisions based on your intuition. Some of you may be drawn to somebody who's also very intuitive, and you might have a strong connection with this person. And so you may be looking for somebody who is more like spiritually in tune, or somebody who's more on your level spiritually, or somebody who's awake or intuitive. Okay? But Six of Swords here is getting away from drama, peace, clearing your head. And some of you have heard me say before in the past, Six of Swords is kind of a funny card for me, because I've seen it happen over the years, time and time again, reading for different people. And I've seen it happen in my own life, pulling cards for myself. I see Six of Swords come up very frequently when you may be going on a trip, just wanting to visit a place. But then once you're out there, somehow things line up, and before you know it, you're relocating. Even though you weren't going on the trip with the intention to relocate. It's like all of a sudden, bam, 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 it's just aligning and it's happening. And the person's like, okay, well, then I guess I'm moving, right? But it's happy, it's pleasant. It's not like, oh man, no, I'm stuck here. No, it's like, wow, this is great. This is wonderful. So some of you may not only be taking a trip, you may be making an unexpected relocation. The next card that's coming up here for you all, Pisces, is the Prince of Swords. This could be a younger air sign person. So air sign would be Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. It could be you if you have an air sign placement. It could be another person if they have air sign, moon, rising, Venus, even if it's not in their sun sign. Now, the Prince of Swords is a card that can come up when we're gathering information. It's also a card that can come up having to do with issues of communication and needing to be wise with our words. Because sometimes the Prince of Swords can come up when we are being very direct, and it can come off kind of harsh. Now, if you've been dealing with someone who's really been aggravating you, and you're just tired of their BS, and you're tired of old cycles, and you're dealing with a new person, and you're like, hey, new person, I like you, I'm interested in you, but do not waste my time, right? You can say that, but be careful and be cautious of how you're wording whatever you say after that point, because it may come across to the other person kind of cold or kind of harsh. And we know that Pisces is not cold, right? You guys are not cold, but it may come across as cold or harsh to the other person. You may have a lot of questions. You may want to know about this person's past. You may be very clear about what your boundaries are or what your deal breakers are. But just be cautious in how you're delivering the situation. I also feel like you might have a lot that you need to ask, or a lot that you need to make sure that this person's going to be on the same page. And these birds are giving me a feeling and sense that, like, you need to kind of space this stuff out. You might be in a hurry to know all the answers, but you need to space it out. Like, don't swing the sword and chop off that tail. Let the one thought pass. Let the one subject pass. Let the one thought pass. Let it process before you go into the next one, before you go into the next thing. Prince of Swords or Page of Swords can also come up when we need to be cautious what we're posting online. Some of you may have a jilted ex or an unrequited love who is assuming a fake profile and trying to get your attention, or trying to get into your DMs to get information from you, or to stir up drama, or to stir up trouble. I've said this in the past when the Prince of Swords has come up. Maybe be cautious what you're posting on social media about any new relationships. I mean, obviously, sometimes we want to show our new person off, and we want to say, oh, we're having a great time at, this restaurant on 3rd Street right now, and you want to post pictures and all this stuff and show what a great time you're having. But you could be dealing with someone who's going to see that, and they're not that far away from that restaurant on 3rd Street, and they could show up and make trouble. Or they can try to kind of keep tabs on you. So maybe don't post things in real time. right? Maybe wait until after you leave the restaurant or after you leave the date before you start posting pictures and, tagging where you were at. Maybe don't post things in real time, and just be cautious of what you're sharing with people in your DMs, because some of you may be giving information to someone that you don't want to have that information, because you don't realize it's somebody that you know on a fake profile. Be cautious and be aware. Some of you may have a new relationship coming in, and this person may know that you have a new relationship coming in, and they may be trying to catfish you and pull you away by pretending to be this ideal dream person that doesn't even exist, right? So just be cautious of any strangers that are suddenly showing up online or slipping into your DMs, because it could be someone who's trying to gather information, collect information. Also, be aware of the way you're wording your questions and the way that you're communicating. Because Pisces, having this Five of Wands here, this is giving me a sense or a feeling that your relationships haven't been easy. And maybe a lot of you have been in issues or situations where you've dealt with partners who try to control you. They try to control you, they try to manipulate you, they try to get you to tailor to them, and you're tired of it. You're sick of it, as you should be. But keep in mind, whoever this new person is, they didn't try to manipulate you. They didn't try to control you. So you can express your boundaries and your deal breakers and the things that you need to know, but you can do it gently without coming off like, you know, the Red Queen from Alice in Wonderland. Off with your head, right? You don't want to come off in that way. So just be aware of the way you're communicating, the tone you're using, the words that you're using. The next card that's coming up for you all is the Seven of Pentacles. And Seven of Pentacles is hard work that pays off, right? Seven of Pentacles is also something that's going to take time. And maybe for some of you, you have very strong feelings for this person. And maybe this person doesn't know that you have strong feelings for them, and they might be kind of guarded and they have feelings for you too. But it might take some time for that to take root and to develop and to match how strongly you feel for them, or vice versa. Maybe they feel really strongly for you and you're like, oh, I don't know, they're really into me, and I like them a lot, but I don't know if I like them as much as they like me. And Seven of Pentacles is saying, give it time. It will happen. I feel that for a lot of you Pisces, this is important to you. You're like, I want to be with someone that I love a lot, and I want them to love me as much as I love them. Because maybe in the past you've felt like it's been very uneven. Like you've given a lot, you've loved really hard, but these people disappointed you, or they behaved in a way where you felt like you were on the back burner, or whatever it might be. And so for some of you Pisces, this is really important. You're like, I need my person to love me as much as I love them, and I need to be really in love. And so the Seven of Pentacles is saying that will happen, that will manifest, but one of you may be in this much more deeply than the other one in the beginning. But as I said, Seven of Pentacles is telling us that it will balance out. It will match up. It's just going to take a little bit of time. You may be guarded, or you may be dealing with a person who's very guarded. Some of you may be dealing with someone who's very used to people who are narcissists, or people who fake emotion. So even if you're expressing emotion, and even if you're saying or doing very romantic things, this person might be so used to people saying and doing things, but it means nothing. So they might still have a hard time being like, okay, Pisces, like, do you really love me, or are you assuming this identity, or are you performing? And it's not an insult against you, it's just like it's their past experiences. So some of you are dealing with someone that's kind of like, I don't want to say in shock, and I don't want to say in denial, but they're like, oh, okay, it's going to take them time to realize that you're real. It's going to take them time to realize that you're not just flattering them or trying to impress them, only to get what you want and then disappear, because they might be used to people who are like that. So patience, right? But this is something that will take root and deliver that harvest, deliver that fruit. It's just going to take a little bit of time. Okay. I also feel with the Seven of Pentacles, this is someone who really wants to help you. And maybe you're just used to doing everything by yourself. Maybe you're very independent, and maybe it's hard for you to let somebody in and help. But I feel like this is someone who sincerely wants to help you in your daily life, in your dreams, in your ambitions. In any way that they can help, they want to help, Pisces. I feel like this person is a helper, and I feel like this is one of their love languages. They like to show their love by helping, by contributing. So let them in, let them help you. Take advantage of that. You may want to check out your moon sign, your rising sign, your Venus sign if this is none of those. Sometimes those might resonate more for you than your sun sign. You may need a private reading, which I'm more than happy to do for you. If you go to the link in the description of this video, it will take you to calendly.com/amethystangelite, and you can schedule a private reading with me there. Don't forget to check out the weekly forecasts where I talk about everything other than love, as well as the daily messages where I pull a card and the message is whatever the message is. Sometimes it's about love, sometimes it isn't. But be sure to check those out as well. I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. Have a wonderful May, my dears. Take care, Pisces.